what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it. I'll go through some LSU practice notes. This mainly comes from my guy, Matthew Brune on 3, the Bengal Tiger on 3, which I really enjoy. I'll go through some of the absences first, right? Braden Swinton and Jalen Lee still absent from practice. Obviously, you got to hope that's nothing too serious, because those are two positions of need. Shelton Sampson is back after banging his head at the opener practice last week. He was full go. Major Burns checked out of practice, did not return, but stayed on the sideline. This is a bit...
I saw no neck roll.
No neck roll.
On Major. I mean, it's a big development.
I don't like that.
No, I love it.
Why?
You can't have your safety out there.
Your star. You can't have your star out there with the neck roll.
Wearing a cowboy
Not a safety,
collar.
but you can your star.
I love Major Burns. A little bit stolen valor. Okay?
No, I don't think so at all. Not at the star.
And check neck roll. You know what I'm saying?
Not at the star, dude. No, you're basically a pseudo linebacker at that point. There's enough linebacker DNA in this star position to validate a neck roll. Like, if he makes the switch now, I feel like the timing of it's all screwed up. You played all that safety with a neck roll, and now when you're playing pseudo linebacker, you're not going to.
Not even like a good like Douglas collar, like the straight up old school.
Also, it looks pretty tight in NCAA 25.
Does he have it on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. It looks awesome. And him and Greg Penn, I find, come up with a lot of picks. I don't know why, but that's like, I don't know. Just I feel like it's happened a lot. John Emery, I don't know what to make of this. So John Emery, Jake, he got a lot of carries yesterday.
Yep.
Twice left to get his knee checked and threw his helmet in frustration both times. So is there actual stuff going on? Is it still kind of mental, trying to get your trust and faith and legs back under you? I don't know, but it's certainly a situation to monitor going forward. Xavier Thomas suited up but did not practice. Zy Alexander active, but not necessarily full go. We had a couple great quotes from coaches during practice. A.J. Swan was kind of struggling during one-on-ones, and I guess he missed Trades Green, and Joe Sloan asked him, how do you miss someone who's 6'7"? Great classic coaching line there, right?
That is very coaching.
Brad Davis with a quote that I think will make you happy, Jake. He was talking to Weston Davis, who's running tackle with the twos.
Yep.
Said, quote, it's about attitude, 5-star. You're going to play hard here.
Oh, God.
Letting him know.
Be still. Absolutely. I love that.
Whit Weeks worked in some at linebacker with the ones. Ashton Stamps and Sage Ryan remained as your cornerback ones on the edges. Dominic McKinley's huge. And the top 3 receivers, they continue to work in a couple of different ways. Yesterday, it was Daniels and Hilton on the perimeter and Lacey working out of that slot, a la Malik Neighbors. Even though, so C.J. Daniels looking like him, Hilton, and Lacey are the top 3 for now, but we will see.
Man, I don't know why, and yesterday we talked about it. I am really excited about Chris Hilton. I feel like he is
probably because he's like super fast.
Well, yeah, for sure, but he's always been super fast.
Sure.
I just think he's the next great LSU receiver. Like, and it might be the stepping stone year. Maybe it's not the year, but he has something. You just mentioned it, that you can't coach in speed, right? He can pick him up and put him down. But I think he's learning how to be a more complete receiver, just from some of the things that we've seen over the last couple of days, things we saw in spring practice. Like, if he ends up being the second leading receiver on this team, I would not be shocked at all. That's not to besmirch C.J. Daniels. I think he's going to have his role.
Do you mean catches or yards or both?
I think probably yards.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
The catches,
Daniels feels like a possession guy, maybe a shorter average.
He might average 13.5, and then Hilton's like a 17.5.
Yeah, I agree. All right, now let's get to some of the sound. And I want to start with Jacobian Guillory, because there's a few quotes here that both speak to the leadership and the veteran nature of Jacobian Guillory, as well as some of the changes that were made this offseason. Start with Guillory, too. This is about learning from new D-line coach Bo Davis. And sorry, as we play this, I want you to just really remember the fact that last year, well, not only, I mean, how many different coaches has this group seen over the last few years? Like 3 or 4, right?
Yep.
And then last year, you lose your coach right before the season. You just kind of have to shoehorn someone in and just really think about how vast the difference must be for the players from last year to this year in terms of the coaching and the improvement that they should be able to have.
He's had so much experience everywhere he's been countless places. Like, the film he shows us is from all over he's been. So, like, just like trying to, he's always coached guys, you know, built like have taller builds. He's coached shorter builds. Like, he's coached so many guys that when it comes to like guys coming in, like being so raw, he already knows like, okay, this is what that guy needs, and he's like catered to him. So like, it's a slow process, but it's a process. And like every day we get better. Like today was like big with our hands, and I feel like today we practice slightly better with our hands did than the last practice. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying, just get better and better every practice.
I love hearing about the depth of knowledge that Bo Davis is bringing from with his career, talking about his ability to work with different body types, different skill sets, to look at a player and assess, okay, what does he need to get better on? And I love the idea of the slow process. Not an easy fix. It's not going to be overnight, obviously, but like Guillory said, right? Bo Davis gave him something very clear to focus on. Hey, you need to get better with your hands, and he felt like that day he had a better day with his hands. Like, that's how, those are the building blocks to success, and just none of that was there at this position group last year.
Not only that, T, but it was like everything you don't want to do, technically, they did.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have a coach, and it was unfortunate, and you had a health situation. Then you're trying to play catch up. You felt like, okay, well, I think we can get it done with this way. And then you figured out there's no way we can. You bring in Pete Jenkins, and it was probably too late at that point because they were just doing things that I know, hell, everybody knows you were never taught to do.
Yeah.
And so can you imagine going from that to getting in-depth coaching from somebody that's done it at Texas, in Alabama, played here at LSU, spent time here in the weight room at LSU. So like, this program means something to him. So he goes over every single detail. Night and day doesn't even describe probably what it is for all these defensive linemen that were here a year ago.
No, it's got to be one of the biggest, no exaggeration. It has to be one of, maybe if not the biggest, positional upgrades in the entire country in terms of the contract and money would speak to that. Here is Guillory talking about being the leader of this oft questioned D line.
I mean, what more could you ask for? Playing for LSU, getting a strap up every Saturday to play for LSU. Like, this is what I've always wanted, and I finally got it. So, like, why not go all out for it? This is my last year. Why not go all out with everything I do? It was just as simple as just doing a walkthrough. Why not go all out in it? So I think the challenge that's ahead of me, I feel like I'm accepting it great, but I know that I still have more to do, just like, everyone else in the room has more to do. So when I push myself harder, I know it makes them want to go harder. So like, just trying to just push myself every day, waking up every morning, making sure I push myself hard enough so these guys push themselves even harder.
I mean, if you wanted just the perfect validation like, that is the Brian Kelly process distilled into an answer, right? This idea of small, daily, accountable habits that lead to improvement over time. Like, that's exactly the kind of mindset that I want my leaders of my football team operating in. And Jacobian Guillory just said it perfectly. Here is Guillory on the intensity of both Bo Davis and Brad Davis.
I'm so used to it that I like, it's just like, how can I listen to what the message is saying, and now like apply that to my game or whatever I did wrong. Like, because it's like when they're yelling at you, it's not that they're yelling at you; they're yelling at the problem. It's kind of like not a F you or F that. You know what I mean? So in a sense of that. So I think I've just handled both intensities well. And I know when he's getting on them, I know when Bo's getting on Coach Brad is getting on the offensive line, I have to listen to make sure I can keep up with what they're doing.
This is like kind of what I got to tell my kids, right? Like, you're not a bad kid, but this is a bad thing you're doing here. Like it's, so I'm going to tell them next time, it's not an F you, it's an F that. Okay, so F that. You got to stop that crap right now. I like hearing one of these Gen Z young players, Jake, espouse and maybe love of a coach getting after their ass a little bit.
I know that's the way that I responded.
Yeah,
like, I responded to that, and playing for the coaches that I had, maybe I didn't have a choice, but I much preferred like Jimbo style than like a Gary Crowton style. I just did. Nothing against Coach Croton, but that wasn't my style. Like, he never really raised his voice, or if he got mad at you, he like just didn't talk to you instead of telling you what the problem was. Where Jimbo, he would whisper those sweet nothings, but he would also, and then he'd come back and he's like, hey, here's why I had to do what I had to do. We need you to do this.
Here's why I had to say it. I wish your parents never met.
Exactly. Exactly. But I responded to that much more than not being told what I was doing wrong, somebody not even really getting mad at the problem. So if you don't show, hey, this is a real issue, then as a player, how do you know it's a real issue? You just, if you mess up and the coach is writing on a script as he walks away, did I mess up? Did I do good? Do I need to do it better? Like, where am I at right now? So I would much rather have Bo Davis, Brad Davis letting me know exactly what the problem was.
So another answer that I love from Guillory had to come with facing LSU's offensive line, because they can provide some real good perspective. Here's what Guillory's been telling the other guys as they go up against this Will Campbell-led Joe Moore candidate offensive line.
I feel like now, like, I tell the defensive line, like, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, we lose reps. We do lose reps. But I'm saying you got to think about it like this. If you go as hard as you can against the best offensive line in the country, the Saturday nights are going to be that much easier. So that's what, like, keeping a level head and, like, keep going, just keep going. Like, you know, if you get knocked down, pop back up and run to the ball. Like, just trying to instill, like, that mindset, like, you're not going to see anything better on a Saturday than what you do see out the week. So just trying to instill that in everybody, too.
I mean, look, I completely vibe with that, because that was my own experience at LSU, right? Having guys like Michael Brockers and Benny Logan and all of these great future NFL stars at D-line that you would go up against practice every single day, and then you get to actual game day, and 99% of the time, like, if you weren't playing Alabama, the players you were going against were worse. And it was a really good feeling. And yeah, sometimes it sucked in practice, the time having to go against Drake Nevis and company, but again, it paid huge dividends in the same way that Jacobian Guillory is talking about there.
I'm trying to even think, like, what would be the best that they'll face in a game, offensive line for LSU.
I mean, Alabama's going to be pretty good offensive line.
Ole Miss has got a lot of candidates.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know about Ole Miss.
Right?
Yet.
No. I mean, I don't know that they're going to be the best, but they do bring back who they had a year ago, which that was not the best unit, but they bring them all back, and they added 4 players through the portal, so they think they have 9 starter quality players. Can they make the best 5? It might be Alabama, because I mean, some of the best ones in the country are outside of the SEC this year.
Yeah. But the point is, like, I think it's a very level-headed and good perspective for the vet to provide to some of the new guys here, is like, don't get too down on yourself here. Okay? It may feel like at times you're getting your ass kicked, but you are going against the best of the best. And what you have to do is force yourself to just continue to go balls to the wall, max effort, like he said, try to do the best that you can against the best. And in the end, it just makes you better, right? What's the underlying foundational thing of camp? Is iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Okay, and going against this LSU line is like being, you know, in the forge, in the hottest flame that you could possibly imagine. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.